messing around.
We're about to dive into what seems to just be a new girl tradition. It's a Thanksgiving episode. Thanksgiving, uno, dos, tres, un, deux, trois.
That's right.
Let's go. Give us the rundown.
Okay, so written by Josh Malmuth.
Ooh, I love
Malmuth.
Malmuth. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I love Malmuth so much.
Yeah, so that means you hate Max Winkler, because I said Josh
I hadn't heard
Malmuth
Winkler yet.
and
Love
Max Winkler, and you just rolled over Max with Josh.
I love the Malmuth. I love the Max.
Love the Malmuth. Love the Malmuth. He's the best Malmuth.
That's been ruined now, just saying things affectionately. All right, okay, sorry, I won't interrupt again.
Okay. So Coach wonders if Nick's manhood has gone missing. After he receives a cutesy Evite to Thanksgiving dinner, Nick reacts by demanding they spend the holidays camping. Coach and Schmidt are surprised Cece comes to dinner. I was too. She ignores both of them. In fact, I was, because she pulled up in a convertible, and I was like, all right, that's enough.
Also, she's so broke.
She's so broke.
She's so broke, and she's got like such a nice car.
No top, no roof. She ignores the both of them, preferring to hang with Winston, who also hates camping. Now together, Schmidt and Nick attempt to hunt their dinner. Schmidt injures himself in his own trap. Nick builds an ill-advised bear trap, and then, in an act of desperation, claims an already rotting fish as dinner. When he returns to camp, he's elated to see how much food Jess and the crew have foraged. But they didn't take all the stickers off of the food they bought at a local store. And Nick feels, dun dun dun, betrayed. Now, desperate to spare Nick's feelings, Jess eats the fish, hallucinates, and runs into the bear trap. Nick admits he's changed since dating Jess, but not all change is bad. Eventually, Nick is able to get her out. The loftmates eventually enjoy a vending machine dinner around Jess's hospital bed.
Whoa.
There we go.
All right,
so that is the episode in a nutshell. And as we said before, written by Josh Malmuth.
Love Malmuth. Love Winkler. That's going to do it again.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So this opening, can we talk about this opening? Because it had me cracking up anytime, because they are besties. Damon and Jake get put together. You know that only like 50% of what they wrote
yes,
is what's going to be in the scene. But him making fun of Jake, who had to wear those pink pants. I know, just
100%.
delighted Damon. Delighted.
100%. Well, if you know Jake, he wears pants like that often, but they're usually less clean. I don't think he's one of those guys that will just pick up whatever's on the floor and put it on. And I'm sure it wasn't a struggle.
Guys, just so you know.
What'd you say?
I'm also one of those guys.
You're one. Sure, Hannah. You look well manicured, put together. You did your makeup.
My face is cute and my hair is cute. This is a fact. But I'm just saying, I definitely am someone who has like the chair in my room.
Oh, you know,
like
just filled
the
with
chair.
Clothes.
Yeah, just like the clothes you take off, and the next morning you're like, nah, yeah, you'll do. That's fine.
Yeah. I have a couch like that in my room. I have the chair like that in my room, and I have the closet like that in my room, and also the floor in my room.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so it is true though. By the way, I do think that this, like what Damon's character is saying, Coach is saying, is very true. That I think in relationships, there does seem to be like this coming together of personalities.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you start to just like, I don't know.
You start to do things the same way.
Yes,
you start to wear each other's clothes.
Yeah.
You know.
And you're not trying to like sit there and like flex or be cool or whatever the thing is. You're just like, yeah, let's make this cute little invite, and you both find it funny, and then
I wouldn't even say
teased.
You know what I would say? I wouldn't even say you both find it funny. I just think guys are like, let's just send a text or let's just tell them, and women are like, no. This got to be formal. They got to feel important. Let's spend time making the invitation.
Sure.
And guys are like, whatever you want.
That's right.
Whatever you want. So it makes it look like it's coming from him. He doesn't care.
But that's right. He genuinely doesn't care, but he does seem to care. when his boy is like going, you obviously have lost your manhood, which we'll get there eventually. But when Nick tells Jess how he realizes he's losing himself as a man, and he makes that list of like, yeah, we had 3 beers and actually felt the buzz, was one of the funniest. It's not in the script. I went back and looked at the script, so obviously it came from a big pack of alts, but was one of the funniest things ever of how he thinks he's losing himself. Because if anything, he is bettering himself very clearly by being with Jess.
100%. I remember I dated a woman, and when I would wake up in the morning, she would make me smoothies.
Ooh.
And I kept thinking to myself, but like, man, if I have this smoothie, I'm going to be too full to go and eat that burrito that I really want to eat for breakfast. At my favorite coffee shop, they sell this burrito. And I was like, but now I can't eat the burrito. Like, what's her problem?
Doesn't she know? Trying to be unhealthy today?
Man, you know, they be trying to make you healthy and alive.
Trying to keep you around in this life.
I know, so they can harass us some more. Let me die. Okay,
so then he overcompensates. It's the pendulum swing. He goes way too far the other way. And they shot a scene, I think, that was cut where you see Nick go back into the bedroom, and his room has just a ton of her stuff in it, right? Mm-hmm. And it's all been like kind of girlified. And that just like sends him into a spiral. And she's like, okay, well, like, what do you want? Like, I'm here for you. Like, tell me what you want to do. And he's like, camp. Like, then it cuts to where we now actually go to, which is where it's like camping. So there's a whole scene that was gone because I think they realized they didn't need it, and there was so much else they had to get into. But to go like how he got there was just like, whew, we're going to do something that even he doesn't really want to do.
Exactly.
Which is pretty funny.
Yeah, he doesn't like the outdoors.
Yeah.
You know, so my thing is like, why would you go to those lengths? Would you say, let's go and hunt?
I think that's sometimes the weird male brain of it is like, we're all so comfortable right now in life in general, in like our, our couch and our TV and our, apps to deliver us food. And then you're like, what do men do? And that's why I think there's like all these like axe throwing places all of a sudden where men are just like, oh, they'll throw an axe. It's like, do you really enjoy that evening? Like, do you really enjoy sitting next to another person throwing axes?
Well, think about it this way. When the apocalypse happens, and it will happen, Hannah.
Sure.
I keep
telling
you.
I'm right in the same boat with you. Let's go. Yeah.
You got a survival kit. Like, you could have a survival kit. Let's say you buy a survival kit, right? You order one from Amazon. It's got an axe in there. If you've never thrown an axe.
I would love if the survival kit from Amazon actually came with an axe. It always comes with like a blanket and like a weird pouch of like rehydrated food.
I was once
and a flare.
sent as a wrap gift.
No.
From Vin Diesel.
Okay, well, I believe this now. Okay.
I received an axe in a pouch. I still have that axe in a pouch. You want me to
I should
go
just
get
say
it?
I took an allergy medication. I just realized that this is.
You want me to go get that axe, Hannah?
I'm really going to survive the apocalypse. I have allergies. I'm just sneezing in the corner. You'd be like, let me get the axe.
Hold on, Hannah. People, all you folks out there, just know this about me. I don't lie. Do I make up stories sometimes? Sure. But I don't lie. Hannah, you want to talk amongst yourself for like 30 seconds?
Sure.
This is a mess around first.
Right now?
It's not trying to find it. I know exactly where it is, and it's
You're about to
literally
run off and go get an axe from Vin
Hannah.
Diesel right now. That's going to help you survive the apocalypse. What do you mean?
Hannah.
Chop up? What?
Hannah.
Yeah.
Talk to the people while I go get some tools that's going to help the people survive.
All
Vin
right.
Diesel
I'm going to
style.
keep going through this episode because here's the crazy thing about this Thanksgiving episode. Usually our Thanksgiving episodes always happen in the loft. They always happen in the loft. They're super fun to shoot, and they happen during actual Canadian Thanksgiving, which is in October. And I kind of liked it. The gang would always be together. We would just sit around. We would actually just chat. It was like such a fun episode to shoot. And then they were like, sent us a location.
Motherfucking survivor. Motherfucking survive. I ain't about to die in no forest. Shit. Oh. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So that's that.
USA Axe. Okay.
Yeah. It's made in New York.
Why is it in like a fluffy little like satchel?
Because it's Vin Diesel. He's still Hollywood, you know what I'm saying? He's still famous and fancy. He
He
gotta have his comforts.
Satchel axe.
With the red interior.
Red and well, that's foreboding. Okay. Jeez.
Look at that thing.
That should be in like a lockbox, sir.
Actually, I take that back. That's not from Vin Diesel at all.
You're like, it was from my mom.
Yeah, this is not from Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel did not send me a axe.
Sorry, Vin. You just got implicated in like an axe gifting situation.
This is from a cartoon I did called Human Discoveries.
A cartoon?
Yeah, it's about cavemen. And then,
Okay.
And yeah, they gave me an axe. I might have 2 axes. I could have sworn Vin gave me one.
Oh, it's got like then it has like a little face mask.
Yeah.
Little N95.
It's a muzzle.
Muzzle.
It's got that
Shock
Fauci
collar.
special on it.
Wow, a cartoon. I love that your brain went, it's got to be from Vin Diesel.
I just, I'm almost positive he did before for Christmas. I could totally be wrong. But, I could be mixing up my holiday gifts, which I sometimes
and you're
do.
like lethal weapons in your house.
They call me Danny Glover, baby.
So I was just saying, as I talked to myself before you went on like your cartoon axe hunt.
Which is very healthy, by the way. Don't look at yourself any differently.
I was just saying what I used to love about our Thanksgiving episodes, and we always shot them during Canadian Thanksgiving, which was always a bit surreal because it was like play Thanksgiving to do American Thanksgiving during Canadian Thanksgiving. It was a big turkey week for me.
What's Canadian Thanksgiving?
It's just as problematic. It's just a month early.
Oh. Okay.
And what I used to love about it, though, is that we'd all be kind of together. It was always in the loft. We'd all hang out together all week. That was just kind of like the deal of these kind of holiday episodes. But this one, they sent us a location, and it was night shoots. Which, if you have to put things in order, usually as an actor, of the things that you're like, not my favorite.
Yeah.
Some wooded location at night in the fall when it's a bit more chilly is like not number 1 on the list. And this was up in Franklin Canyon where they have the turtles and the lake.
Yeah. At least it wasn't far, though. At least it wasn't like...
It wasn't crazy far, but it was still like, wait, what? What are we doing for Thanksgiving? So it's one of those weird, like, art imitates life, life imitates art. Because I think all of us were like, what are we doing? Why are we doing night shoots outside? Like, we all could relate to Jess's character and Cece and Winston of like, why are we genuinely here?
That's the question I always ask, especially because it's not that I mind night shoots, but there are some times when I'm in a mood I don't want to be at a night shoot, and I'll look at the writer from 50 yards away, and I'll just stare at him and go, "Why? Why would you?" All you have to do is instead of saying exterior, you could have said interior.
That's right.
And instead of night, you could have said day.
Yeah,
It's
that simple. That's in a cabin. If they had to go somewhere, I know we've done a few cabins in New Girl, but anyway, so we go and roll up.
I never got to do a cabin episode.
The like,
you know what I mean?
The genuine irritation.
Out in the woods.
The genuine irritation in the characters was one of those things where we were helped as actors because we all were like, okay, this is great. I love that this dynamic that they're building between Coach and Schmidt and who's the better camper, and that Coach is savvy enough, because this also feels like a very Damon thing, to be like, oh, you're clearly terrible, and this is going to be fun for me to sit there and let you act like you're great.
Oh, yeah. But
I got nothing to prove.
But he was he was also being very kind to him.
You think so? I think he was kind of messing with him a little bit, being like, just go, man. Just go.
Well, that's not messing with him. It was like, hey, yeah, sure, go ahead, do your thing, and then finally he had to say, listen, I know what I'm doing. I think that's what the moment Schmidt fell under his own trap. So he sets this trap. He sets this trap for a squirrel. He says, which is so funny. He's like, you got to think like a squirrel. And he gets down. And then that's where Coach is messing with him. Like, and then what else? Like, what are you going to do? And then he starts to behave like a squirrel, hits the boulder, crushes him. And that's when Coach is like, hey, listen, let me help you because I know what I'm doing.
It's also a very like Wile E. Coyote moment. Like, what kind of trap was that? Like First of all, you'd have to knock that stick. Like you would have to be a very large animal. And the fact that Nick, again, when he swings one way, it is so wild. Like the Nick Miller character that he's like, I brought 96 warm beers because you can't hunt or forage for those.
Yes.
And everything else we're just going to get from God's table here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
First of all, how did he dig that? How did he dig that hole?
I genuinely, those are those moments. Usually I get really frustrated when I watch shows and I'm like, I don't like it when you just like make things happen. Like, let us see the struggle, make it make sense.
Yeah.
But this one I kind of loved because you kind of do believe that Nick is so deranged that it is possible that he just sat there with a spoon for the past like 3 hours and just like dug it out.
I mean, that was like a legit 8 foot, 8 foot deep, 10 foot wide. I was like, they had room down there. They could have all went down in that hole.
Yeah.
And had a good evening. You know what I'm saying?
Also, like getting ahead of ourselves, but like how they pulled them, like there's no way 3 people could pull those 2 people up with just pants loosely tied together.
Because I've done that before. At least I've tried. It doesn't work out the way that people think it's going to work out.
You tried to do a pant rope?
Yeah, this episode is a liar.
I do think it's also one of the, the building times between Winnie and Cece, where you see that they have each other's back.
Yes.
That they hate the same things. Sometimes you love somebody, not because you love the same things, but because you hate the same things.
You hate the same things. That's right. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
That's right. And I think this is also a true thing because I do not like camping. No, thank you. Yeah. Hard pass.
Wait, but you live in the forest.
I live in a very nice house in the forest.
That's crazy. I don't like camping. I don't see the point.
No.
I look at it like there's enough stress in an everyday person's life, right? How are you going to provide? You got to put food on the table. You got relationships that you're mending. You got kids you're trying to raise. And it's almost like, hey, you know what? We don't have enough stress in our life. Let's go live amongst wild animals. Let's go move in on their territory in the spirit of Thanksgiving. And then let's go sleep outside.
Privilege.
It's 100%.
Privilege.
I should be able to sleep here where this bear lives. We should have everything.
Also, why can't I have everything? With mace. Like you are going into the bear's house and then you're going to mace him for being like, you look delicious because you are.
Yeah.
You're a delicious snack in a little paper thin tent. He should be able to eat you.
Goldilocks is lucky. She lucky. She rolled up into some bears' homes. She lucky they didn't have her for dinner.
Yeah, that's a fact.
It's Goldilocks, right?
It was Vin Diesel. Okay, we're going to an ad break. When we come back, more on this wild night shoot that we are now reliving for you. Bye.
Okay, when we come back, Hannah, where are we right now on this?
I think where we are at, we're kind of all over the place because I feel like this is slightly triggering for us.
Yeah.
Talking about this night shoot is becoming triggering for us because I do remember it really clearly being like, gosh. And it was really cold, which is why I seem way more overdressed, I think, than the rest of you. Because I was so concerned. I was like, I would like the biggest scarf. And then they had to like write in the scarf situation.
Well, yeah, because also you pulled up in a damn convertible.
I know. She's chilly.
To the woods. The woods.
Chilly.
I mean, the convertible has an actual roof. Like the roof comes over and covers you and protects you. Then you get out of the car and you don't put the roof back while you're in the. So if there are wild kangaroos in Franklin Canyon,
yeah.
Then the kangaroo gonna hop in your car and drive away.
Ooh, you know what I also just remembered about this? Driving to that location. you go through all of these weird windy ways, and there was like construction and like roadblocks or whatever. And I remember a week later, I got a ticket for like $150 for like blowing through a stop sign. And then they show the picture or whatever, and the stop sign was like behind a tree, like with like leaves all over it. And I remember being like, "What? What?"
You should have known better. Did you contest the ticket?
No, I paid the ticket.
Oh, push over.
I don't have the energy for it. All right, so let's talk about Nick fishing, because this was also one of the funniest, most disgusting things in the entire world.
Yeah, that's
like
nasty.
Sometimes it reminds me of when you, during that episode where I kicked Nick in the balls, you were just eating like the fish, like remember the gross
from
fish?
Mercado. What was the place called?
No, Pico. Paca.
Yeah.
Puka.
Picaya.
Pika. We did it. Wow, that was really good. Yeah, it was like that. I was even just watching it, and I'm like, what is it with like disgusting fish? Someone had something about that in the writer's room for sure. And he catches, he just goes, basically gets a floating dead fish out of the lake. It's
a rotting fish. Yeah. It's a rotting fish. And I love when he's cooking it and he says, then the eye pops out. And he goes, that's when you know it's ready. That's when
he's realized that they have gone to the grocery store and have laid out all this stuff, and they did not walk to Oregon.
No,
and then he makes a ridiculous stand by going off and being, I'm not going to be part of it. And that's so tricky, because all Jess really wants is for them to have a meal together. And they did try to do it his way. They did go try to forage. Schmidt did try to go and hunt, got injured. Like, they did try. And that's where you're like, man, your ego and machismo is blinding you to everybody's like trying to get on this crazy ride for you.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
It was so whack. You just want to like slap him. You're like, what are you doing? And then they have this kind of, really big heart to heart, Nick and Jess, where he says how he realizes he feels like he's losing himself with these ludicrous, super unhealthy things now that he can't do. And it's a really interesting thing with Jess, because I think often she stands up to him and like uses like the power of communication to be like, this is why that's crazy and I care for you. And instead she just can see how emotional he is and just meets him where he's at. And she's like, fine, I'll eat the fish. I got it. This is important to you. And then it's giving to me like the, did you ever watch Beef with Ali Wong?
Yes.
So good. And it's giving that last episode. Do you remember? Where like they hallucinate and get crazy after eating the wrong thing.
Spoiler, I haven't seen it.
That's on you. Don't lie then.
No, I've seen it.
So good. Oh, it's so good. That last episode. And it's, anyway, it just reminded me of that, how really when you eat something that's that genuinely toxic, your body and your brain just fully like just disassociate from the whole experience.
Also, I will put this on Jess though. He was telling her, don't do that.
He's saying that with his words, but emotions were saying, this is so important to me. You see what you did there? Coming to America barbershop.
Where's the spoon? So
my favorite.
So you're, and on one hand, you're saying that his machismo, and his ego,
machismo. I've been saying machismo my whole life, and it's wrong.
Well, what do you think you fancy? Machismo. So you've been thinking it was that. So you're on one hand, you said that that's what Nick is dealing with, his ego and his machismo, but because he wants to do things his way, he wants to hunt and prove a point, right?
That's right.
But then when it comes to her eating the fish, you said it's also his fault because he's like verbally saying to her, do not do that,
right?
But she's like, well, no. I can tell what you really mean.
He's cooking it. He's doing this whole thing. And then he realizes in that moment, he was like, I'm taking this too far and this is actually going to hurt her. But she's now all in with him. So that's the problem. He ran it all the way down the track and then she's like, fine.
That's not on him. That's not on him. That's not on him. Men, we're very clear when we say something. Don't do that. And you're like, but what you feel and what you're trying to say is this. It's like, no, I know how to speak. I said, don't do that, because that's what I mean.
But then why are you cooking the fish? Why are you crying that no one's eating your fish?
Because you're right. He is in a corner on his own. He didn't make it. He didn't plate it up and pass it around. He didn't. You know the fish is rotted.
He was doing emotional manipulation. He was sitting in a sad corner.
So she got emotionally manipulated?
That's right.
At any point.
Sure.
At any point, is she responsible for her own activities and behavior?
No.
Okay,
anyway,
good to know.
Now, so now she's out in the woods. She's hallucinating and goes running. And then our actual camping master, Coach, recognizes a tree, yells for her to stop. She doesn't know what planet she's on, and she falls into the bear trap.
We don't say master anymore, by the way. So he's at the camping. He's the camping primary. Go ahead.
The primary camper.
Yes.
Says stop. She falls in, and then he dives in the only way Nick Miller can, which is
head first.
That's right.
What an idiot.
Wow. What a choice.
Oh,
what a choice. And then he's
Even
faced
Winston
with
makes
the
that comment.
consequences. Yeah, head first.
Why would you go head first?
I also like that when you can see that someone's clearly injured, but the shock of how they got there stops you from helping instantly.
Yeah.
You're just like, what?
I had a friend who did that. Once, drinking. He decided to, and God rest his soul, I love the man. Die. He did. This is not how he passed away. He passed away years later, but he ran into the pool and dove head first in the shallow end. But right, you know how the pool has it's like the hot tub is in the pool, and so it's all looks like it's the same level.
Yeah. He
dove right onto the middle part of where the separator between the hot tub and the pool.
Onto a wall.
Yeah. Cracked his neck. It was like, it's not funny, but it's
definitely not funny. But also, what are you doing?
We were like, why would you?
Why?
He was in bad shape after that, man. Yeah. He was in bad shape after that. But anyway, here we are.
Here we are. Head first. Don't do it, you guys. You have feet for a reason. Okay. Yeah. Don't do that. Then the actual primary camper, that's going to be Cece right now. She's the one who's just like, take your pants off.
Yes.
Take your pants off. We're going to make a pants rope. And I love that line when she's watching these boys sit there and be like, are you going to take your pants off? And she's like, yeah, I'm going to take my bra off too. No, just take your pants off. We're trying to save our friends. You lunatics.
Not a great idea. Although, like I said before, I've tried this. Doesn't work.
There's no way. There's no way it would work. There's so much slick material in our clothes these days. It would just slip.
Yeah. Although I think denim would work. If you tie a really good knot.
That's true.
Denim would work for sure.
Were they all wearing denim? They all were wearing denim.
Maybe.
So maybe I take it back.
Maybe. And I love Winston's thermals underneath. What do you say? They're not cats.
Smart choice. He's the only one. They're teasing him, and I'm like, that's the only smart human being. He has a layer on.
Yeah, I mean, they all. I think Coach was wearing like white. Like, what was he wearing? He was wearing like white thermals. They were like really. I don't know. They were like athletic thermals.
Oh, I don't know. But I genuinely also think it was so cold when we shot up there. That was also an actor's thing. We're like, if you have to take a shot of them with no pants on, it's too genuinely cold. We're not standing out here.
Also, and you're not allowed TV standards, like standards and practices. You can't like show nudity.
Not nudity if you're in your underpants. Schmidt spent so much of this show in his underpants.
Which I have a problem with, by the way. And Schmidt, we should stand up and say something. All this female machismo making you take your clothes off.
People want to see it. The people want to see it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So then they go to the hospital. She doesn't have rabies, but she does have Giardia and Legionnaire's disease.
Yes.
And her foot's been saved? Wild thing to say.
Oh my God. Have you ever had any one of these like wilderness diseases? Like, I mean, you come from the forest, so like beaver fever. That's
No.
the young Giardia. No, you've never had any issues like related to ticks or anything or Lyme's? Okay.
No.
All right. Hey, me either. Ticks. Because again, these are things that we will never encounter, knock on wood, because we're not out here doing this silliness.
Yeah.
That's not what we're about.
That's true.
If I'm gonna get a disease, it's gonna be the old-fashioned way. Unprotected. No, I'm kidding.
Who was there? There was like that line in this episode too. Like the oldest. Oh, that's the next episode. Oh my gosh, it made me laugh too. But what's the oldest profession?
Bartending.
It's a prostitution. All right, so now they're back. They're at the hotel. See how my brain is automatically. You say camping, my brain goes hotel.
Yep.
It's just like hardwired to go hotel.
I mean, that's why I would like to camp at a Four Seasons.
By the way, I have done that before. Someone once showed up with an RV, like, we're going camping. And I was like in the thing, and I'm like, this is great. This better go straight to the hotel. We can park this in front of the hotel, just so you know.
That's wise. That's wise.
Yeah, thank you so much. Everyone's just like, didn't you feel bad? I was like, no, I did not. You can't surprise me with like adventure camp before, like if I'm not signed up for it. Like, don't do that to me. It's a very sweet though end to a Thanksgiving episode, because in the most new girl of ways, everyone is together. They're laughing. They've created this core memory. They are eating the food, and Jess kind of, gets what she wants a little bit, and Nick learns a lesson, and they kind of have bonded their relationship. I will say though, not my favorite new girl Thanksgiving episode.
Is it because of what you saw, or because of what you went through while filming?
Both. I think I'm connected. I've connected the two in my brain. So a super funny episode, and also like all the mumblings that Jess does when she is like clearly like losing her mind. Again, I looked at the script, like none of that is in the script except for the Moon Man one when she's down in the hole.
Right.
Which just also means it came from like a really fun, just like random spitballing idea alt pack, which I do love and appreciate, because they're super funny things that she is saying there where your mind would go.
Yeah. I mean, I would put it, I still really enjoyed it. I still liked the episode. Out of all of the Thanksgiving episodes, I'd probably say number 2.
Really? What was your number 3? Which one did you enjoy?
Well, I haven't quite. I think, the one that I enjoyed less than this one was probably the one that people consider the best one. And that was season 1.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Because I love Justin Long. I loved everything
one.
about it. Yeah, Miss Beverly. I loved everything about that episode except for how long it took us to shoot it.
That's right. That's true.
It was a 6-day shoot. That was
equally arduous.
Yeah. And we were on stage, which was so crazy to me. It was.
Remember I told you I had a flight at 10 a.m. on Saturday. And they're like, you're not going to make your flight.
Yeah. So that one, to me,
that's true.
Was at the bottom for me.
Got it. Yeah, I guess I understand that. Visually. Like story-wise, though, that one was pretty amazing.
Yeah. This one, I feel like I worked 3 days, maybe.
Yeah, 3 chilly, cold days. Man, Thanksgiving. I am grateful, though. It's funny when you look back in like a retrospective and you're like, man, we did this show for so many episodes and so many years. It's cool to see that we did so many of the same holiday, because you kind of then get to meet the characters, like, you know what I mean, year after year after year in the same scenario, which is rare. You don't get it with most TV shows now because they don't run as long. You don't get to really see that in a movie. It's usually one Thanksgiving or something. And so it's unique. And so in a way, the fact that they went so outside of the box with this one makes it super special. So
100%.
I'll give them that.
And I'm quite sure that because of the influence of this show, many folks, because of this, I'm sure folks have done it beforehand, but post this episode, I'm sure many folks have had Thanksgiving dinners in a very similar fashion.
Ooh, camping Thanksgivings. I bet that's true.
Yeah.
If you have ever done that inspired by this episode and took a picture, tag us. We want to see it. We want to see your camping new girl Thanksgiving. Hopefully you brought more than just 96 warm beers though.
Yeah, or rotten fish.
Well,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
When we come back, let's mess around.
Deal. And Hannah, we are back.
We're back.
So, babe.
Yeah, babe.
What items, events, or people do you need to have a successful Thanksgiving?
Ooh, I will say when I lived in Canada, I always held like I used to call it like the Motley Crew Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So it was just like a Friendsgiving always. And I would get find out what little kids, like funny crafts like people were doing.
Really?
And I don't know why. It was just it's a bunch of drinking and everybody brought food around. And there was something very nostalgic about doing ridiculous, silly, kid things. We were in our 20s. I don't know. It just felt like so silly and fun. So I always hosted that and I loved it. And it was kind of open house. So anybody could come. You want to bring your friend who also has nowhere to go this Thanksgiving? Because it's not a big deal up there. Like here, I feel like it's bigger than Christmas. Like everyone goes home for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. For me, it's one of those things where my Thanksgivings are simple. And since I moved away from Chicago, there's a lot of Friendsgivings. If I can make it back home to Chicago is always depending on work scheduling, because I'm always filming the day before Thanksgiving. Sure. This year was the same thing. So I was on a red eye to Chicago, basically Thanksgiving morning.
Oh my gosh.
But for me, I just need my mama there. My mom and my little one. Everybody else I sometimes have it because I've had Friendsgivings without my mom here, and it doesn't feel like Thanksgiving. It's just like it's a party. People are hanging out. But that to me is necessary. Food wise, I would say you gotta have turkey, obviously, but I'm a mac and cheese person, so I love a good mac and cheese, and everything else can go by the wayside. I just need those.
The number
items.
one thing I have to have, and it's the number one thing. Everything else is just a vehicle for me to get more of this into my body. Gravy, that's it. If you just
I knew you were going to say something like gravy. Gravy on your fries. Poutine.
Yeah, well, poutine, obviously. It used to honestly get problematic at the end of Thanksgiving because I would go back into the kitchen when they're cleaning up and packing everything. And I would just hop up onto the counter and just have turkey, but almost like using it like bread with hummus, just to scoop up as much gravy. To drink it down. I love gravy so much.
Would you drink a cup of gravy?
For sure, bud.
Let me ask you also, because you guys like to dip your fries in mayonnaise as well.
Oh, yeah.
Would you drink a cup of mayonnaise?
No. But I will say it's a very specific. My godparents are Dutch. I spent every summer going to Holland, and everybody will know this who's ever been to Holland. There's a specific kind of mayonnaise. And I just got to say this, McDonald's does it the best. McDonald's does it the best. This Dutch mayonnaise. Yes, I know. And you go in, and the fries with the McDonald's Dutch mayonnaise is the greatest thing. Only rivaled by turkey and gravy.
You know what I got to do now? I gotta go to Holland.
You going to Amsterdam right now? Book it.
I'm gonna go there. Then I'm gonna go to McDonald's and I'm gonna request this particular thing. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm gonna do for New Year's, guys. I just figured out my New Year's plan.
You actually don't even have to leave the airport. You go to Schiphol Airport. They have a McDonald's in it.
Schiphol.
Yeah. Also to say hello is Doei.
Doei Cox. Hello, Dwee.
Okay, this second question we have to do. Has your family ever tried an unconventional holiday plan? How did it go?
Again, my family, no. My family, no. My family, we're very, when it comes to certain holidays, very traditional. Just do the thing. Not really the most adventurous group of let's go and let's call Elon. Let's do Thanksgiving on Mars. We haven't That's not something we've done yet. Although I would go to Mars.
Oh my God. Would. You just reminded me. I spent a Thanksgiving at NASA.
What?
Yeah. My cousin, Scott Parazinski, is an astronaut. And we, for Thanksgiving, went to Houston, and he got us a tour. Like, he gave it. He walked us through in NASA. And we went into, like, the control room of where they did the moon landing. And it was just our family. We just, like, all wandered around and sat. And I think I have a picture, actually. Yeah. Talk about unconventional Thanksgiving. The actual Thanksgiving dinner and everything was, like, pretty straightforward. He also shared a bottle of whiskey he got gifted by, like,
from
the
Buzz
king
Aldrin.
of Nepal or something for climbing Everest. Because he also
climbed Everest
twice.
Hannah,
he summited once. He climbed it twice. He went to space 7 times.
When you summit versus a climb, you summit, that means you go. What does that mean? You go over it?
No, summit means you got to the top, to the summit.
But climbed it means you didn't get to the top.
He got really close. But then had to come back down. Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, I've summited so many mountains.
What do you mean? You've climbed a lot of mountains.
I've climbed. Yeah, I've climbed a lot of mountains. Yeah. You like you could just. Oh, you shot your shot, so you climbed. You didn't climb, man. You showed up and you left. Okay, 7 times. No, he didn't do it 7 times. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Before we wrap this up, you were just talking about your Thanksgiving. I have to say, I had a really fun Thanksgiving this year, thanks to you. Because when I came to your daughter's birthday party, I became best friends with Ronnie and Hannah. Ronnie actually does our theme music.
He does. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, he's the guy who records.
You should follow him on Instagram. He does our music for this show. And his wife, Hannah, great name, by the way. We fell in love. She is my trainer now. Body by Hannah. Hannah's Body by Hannah. And we spent Thanksgiving together.
Aww.
And it was the absolute greatest, most wonderful time. So I basically, with your LA family, that's who I spent my Thanksgiving with.
Yeah, that's awesome. I spent mine alone. No one invited me. Glad to see you guys are connecting. I was at home. My daughter hung out with friends. And,
get out of town. We're hanging out this weekend, by
football.
the way. You all come over.
Just watch some football.
Okay, let's wrap this up. Because this was very fun.
It
Back
was.
to the solo cup. The solo cup is going to bump me this whole episode. Solo cup.
Sometimes you got to drink.
Also, orange. Was it from Halloween? Is it left over from Halloween?
No, I have like multicolored ones. And my pantry was dark, so I just put my hand in there, grabbed one.
Lucky dip.
Surprise. It was a surprise. Orange was the color. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for listening. Follow us at the Mess Around Pod. Any questions you have, anything that you want answered. We also do loft meetings, and that's where we answer all of your questions. You can send it in a voice note, a video. You can write an email, whatever you need to do. And this this cute little shirt I'm wearing, you can get it at themessaroundpod.com because holidays are coming, and this is a good one.
So, folks, listen, Hannah, you should do me a favor, Hannah.
Yeah.
Hey, come hang out on December 17th at Dynasty Typewriter here in Los Angeles. I'm doing a live episode of my other podcast, The Morning After. And
big fan.
Yeah, and we got tickets are on sale now. We've got some very special guests that will be there, and I think you should come hang out. Who knows? Maybe you come on stage. Maybe
what are you gonna do?
I'm not gonna do anything weird. We're just doing our podcast, but I'll just tell you, Damon.
Yeah.
Jake Johnson.
Get out.
If you say you're coming,
I'll call the other two. There.
I'll call the other two.
We'll do a whole reunion.
We'll do the first New Girl reunion where we've all been together as a cast. Since.
Wow. All right. Yeah. All right. Okay.
December 17th.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. And tell the fans out there that you'll be there. Promise it.
Oh my God. Don't put me on the spot right now. I'm going to say yes. Say yes. Here's my only caveat. My mom lands that day.
So she liked to laugh, don't she?
My mama lands that day. So if I can figure it out, I will be there.
Well, who's going to watch the kids? Yo mama. Yo mama.
All right, I love you. We'll see you next week. Episode 311, Clavado en un bar.
Yes. That was The Mess Around. This has been an iHeartMedia production. Our executive producer is Joelle Monique. Our engineer and editor is Mia Taylor. Additional production from Daniel Goodman, Wendy Heisler, and Kyle Chevron. Our theme song was written and composed by Ronald Jukebox Jackson. So we're going to catch you next time. Bye.